Welcome to Media Layer Sandwich. Today we're talking about the movie Sinners. Spoilers are full in effect, and this isn't really structured. We're just three guys sitting in a garage talking, hanging out. I'm here with my buddy Smallsy and Richie.
Don't drop the loke.
We are clothed. Don't want to make it sound weird.
Wait, we do spoilers in the show?
Yeah.
Wait, do I have to put my pants on?
Sinners, huh?
Yeah. Definitely sinning, guys.
Hey, put that down. Get your hand on my pocket. Anyways, so all right, let's talk about this movie Sinners. Brian, you want to start us off?
Yeah. Sinners starring Michael B. Jordan, which I'm not the biggest Michael B. Jordan fan, I'm gonna be honest with you, but I think he did a really good job in this movie. He's a great actor, don't get me wrong. Did great in Creed. He did good in this movie, man. He plays a set of twins, and why are you looking at me like that? Okay. I'm just saying I thought he did. Hey, look, I thought he did well. I understand the criticism that, I'm going to get lobbed at me. He's twins and, it was the same guy playing the same whatever. I think the twins had a very, very distinct contrast, right? One was more, cerebral.
Why are you getting all defensive right now?
Well, no, because we were already talking about it. Should I pretend like we didn't talk about it beforehand? Okay, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No. Don't tell us your defense of one guy playing twins in a movie.
No, I'm saying he did a decent job in it, right? One of the twins, was more strategic, buttoned up, things like that, very kind of docile. The other one was kind of reckless, I think he did a decent job in kind of, contrasting those and differentiating the twins, right? Goes through the movie, all right?
Well, we'll stay on the twin second because I do have some defense on that too.
Okay.
My defense of it is, he did a really good job. He did. He and also, who could you cast playing brothers? Doesn't matter if it's twins. I even have a note here. Why are there so many twins in movies when there's not needed for them to be twins? I mean, we just have so many movies right now where it's two different actors that look very different, but for some reason there's twins and there's no reason. Whatever. We don't have to talk about that. I'm just getting why? Like that Netflix movie Brothers where Dinklage is twins with
Arnold?
Yeah, sure.
What?
For no reason.
Oh, no, that was Danny DeVito.
That was a different movie.
That was a totally different movie.
But it was like Ben Affleck or Matt Damon or one of them guys. I don't know. But for no reason.
Chris Tucker. We're twins.
Sure, yeah. Why not? There was no reason for it. But who do you get to play? If these two are so close brothers, who do you get to play that other role that has the name that can have that same energy, where they're not trying to outdo one another? Who could you cast in that spot if he's not playing both
right
of them?
Now for what the movie was, let's just, it was set in that time that it was set in, right? We'd say 1930s or so. 32, South, deep South,
Mississippi.
Sharecroppers, you know what I mean? So I don't really know who else you can put there that would do a good job in that environment, right?
I love Michael B. Jordan. Like I said, I can't think of a lot of stuff I dislike him in. But what I didn't appreciate about this thing, it's you got a movie that's essentially, it's From Dusk Till Dawn meets Oh Brother,
Yeah.
It has this cool music undertones. But I totally disagree where you say they're two distinct brothers, because I didn't know which was the brother. Besides, one was wearing red and the other one was wearing blue. The one was wearing a cabbie style hat. The other one, they're basically the same character. And what I thought the saving grace of that movie was going to be why this movie's getting such high Rotten Tomato scores was he was going to carry this film playing two distinct characters. But the whole movie I'm watching it, and I'm it's essentially the same dude. They just need to be in two different spots at the same time.
Well, you kind of see, I would only say that one of them was obviously the brains, right? He's the leader, right? And the other one's kind of his muscle, and he kind of, that's how I viewed it, at least, No,
because they were both mobsters. They both went to war. Yeah. They both worked for Capone. They were both they're both essentially it's getting. It's almost like Expendables. You just have too many strong characters. But the thing is, in those movies, they're distinctable. This guy uses his legs, this guy uses his feet, this guy, is known for this. This was just Michael B. Jordan playing Michael B. Jordan, who's also by chance playing Michael B. Jordan.
One of them goes for underage girls that are white passing. The other one likes people that could be pass for his mother. That's big.
Well, that's what I mean. It was like more like I didn't see anything in between that really differentiated them.
I honestly thought the voodoo lady, like, is this their mom? Oh no, that's not their mom.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the only distinctive differences are taste in women. They're literally twins. One likes this kind of hat and big women. The other one likes this kind of hat and other women.
I mean, you can't tell.
Also,
Stack was more eccentric, right?
Also,
Smoke, right?
And they both.
No.
They both.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys knew. The girl.
Wait, if I say they look the same, am I racist?
Let me think about it.
Also, just so you guys know that Josh Allen's wife was her Haley. Do you know her name?
No,
Oh.
but she did good.
She did good. She's actually like I think part black on her dad's side or her grandpa's side.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that was the thing. The one girl was mixed.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. She looked pretty white in the movie. I guess she really is, like mixed in real life.
Mm.
In IRL, as the kids say.
So
I mean, that was a really big thing back then, right? Where they didn't have mixed races, right?
Yeah.
That wasn't cool back then.
Yeah, mixed marriages and stuff. There's a couple odd things. If I can just kind of do a general overview on some of the things I've written down. One, you guys really made me watch a 2-hour and 17-minute movie. We just talked about how I fall asleep in anything more than 2 hours. I would not, if I saw this in theaters, I would fall asleep.
You're welcome, bud.
And I told you how I don't like seeing movies that are less than 90 minutes. At least like give it time to actually have a story to it.
Because they got to be long.
It has to at least be 2 hours. Especially if we're going to the theater for it.
I thought the runtime was perfect.
I thought it was. The runtime I didn't have a problem with.
I thought it was a decent runtime.
Are you telling me there's no filler in this movie?
There was
Out of
some.
all the time.
There's some, so it's too long.
Out of all the time in this movie, and all the things wrong with that, I disliked about it, the runtime was not one of them.
Yeah. Richard be like, I hate this movie, but you know what? The runtime was 4 hours and 30 minutes, so I give it a pass.
I gave it a pass. They were really trying to get money to, my money's worth.
I know why you say that, though, that one scene, right? Obviously, that was filler. I really can't think of anything else that really was filler, though.
I didn't feel like it was filler. I feel like there was a lot of, like, maybe poor writing.
Well, yeah.
Yes, absolutely,
yes.
100%.
I feel like this should have been a mini-series. Like, they wrote it to be a mini-series, and it's like, well, let's do a movie, and they still kept things.
Well, the first 45 minutes of the movie, they're just playing, like, Wizard of Oz, collecting their buddies, and I'm like, what is this movie about? Demons? We got demons? Sinners? Is this biblical? What's going on here?
Are
we going to see something?
They were just
No, they were just collecting guys that could fry fish.
Sounds like a good weekend to me, bud.
Bet you that fish was fire, though.
Yeah.
The movie could have started. I have it written down. I want to say it was let's see. Music starts at 55 minutes in. When was the first? Right at the hour mark is when the white vampires are teased shot. So you could have started this movie 1 hour in, because you could have missed everything in front of this. Or you could start where the music starts at 55 minutes in, maybe a little intro at 50 minutes in. And you could have nixed everything in front of that.
I disagree for this one point, though. It is technically a horror film, so obviously people are gonna
horror doesn't start until an hour and 18 minutes in.
Exactly. So obviously people are gonna die in this film at some point. Would you care if anyone dies if you just, the movie starts, they're in the bar and people start getting eaten by vampires? Would you care? At least have them.
I didn't care anyway.
But that's my whole point. You literally split Michael B. Jordan up to play the same character to go two different directions when you could have just had them all in that same town.
Well,
and just one Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
And you could have got there maybe 20 minutes sooner.
Yeah.
Maybe half hour sooner.
Oh, that's a good question. Do you think they needed to be twins, or that could have been covered by one character?
Well, I think they needed to be twins in a sense because the way
I think one character could have covered it. I don't think you needed to. I think you could have totally done without the whole mix girl. But she doesn't need. You could mix that whole character.
But how do you have the after credit scene that makes it even longer?
Spoilers.
The guy turns into a vampire. It could have been almost anybody else. There was no Oh my god, you could have nixed all of that.
I mean, they kind of foreshadow in the beginning. Well, not in the beginning, towards the.
I feel like
middle
you
to
could have
end,
nixed so
where
much
she
of
wants to
this
just
movie.
be with Stack. She just wants to be with Stack, and they eventually have that happen.
She's
Well,
married. If she
essentially-
wanted to be with Stack, why did she get married?
Well, I
Well,
think
he explains that because they can't, because she's a mixed race, and she thinks that it's unsafe for her to be in that town where she can just marry a white guy and
well, I
be in a safe
think
environment.
too. She also screams like "Go to hell with them," and I thought that was like foreshadowing, like them, like their endless, like.
There's some little
Good
nuggets in
catch.
there,
Like, you know,
Good catch.
little nuggets
But
in there.
and that's the only thing I thought because they were, and then because I didn't get this until the after credit scene. Like I watched that later.
Because he didn't know
I didn't know it was. I was
because
like,
the movie was so long when the credits came out. Like, I'm done with this.
no, I watched it at the house, and he said it was so good, so I was waiting to watch like the Citizen Kane of like horror films, and it was literally like the biggest letdown.
But you couldn't watch the credits.
Do you watch credits at your house?
That's how I found out there was after credit scenes. I didn't have anyone to warn me.
Well,
I
you-
just had it
I just
running.
used
You
Twitter.
probably were just playing a video game and forgot to hit stop.
Yes, but that's beside the point.
Like I was watching it like intentively, like
That's beside the point, though. I was watching it.
Well, they do that musical scene in the end when the credits are rolling too. So I kind of, I
Which
watched
was
that.
dumb. Which
well,
was
I watched it,
absolutely dumb.
but that kind of leads you into the end scene. You know?
Now, Rich did watch the YouTube video that explained that because the ending one where the guy's in the church singing "This Little Light of Mine," which by the way is before the vampire attack because he doesn't have the scars, so it makes no sense. Rich was watching a video where they said that scene was actually supposed to be way earlier in the movie, and they cut it.
yeah, it was supposed to have a different
Yeah.
ending, I
Okay.
guess, and they
Yeah.
tweaked the ending, I guess.
So if we're gonna start talking about how they tweaked it at the end, let me just say it right
Well,
now.
they didn't need it. They when they tweaked it and they got rid of that scene, they should not have put it in the movie at all.
I like this movie. However, I feel like two different people wrote it at different points. Well,
Yes.
the first half was written by one guy, and the second half was written by that's you know what I mean.
I
That's
feel
how
like
it felt
it
to
was
me.
written as a miniseries, and they tried to turn, but they didn't. They needed to go through another round or two of edits and
Mm-hmm.
figure out what they wanted to keep.
I didn't feel that they needed to do this whole Wizard of Oz like hour into the movie, just collecting different.
I agree.
Different people. Hey,
I
we go
agree.
drive around, like I mean, I get it gives you time to like elaborate on some of these characters, and
Exactly.
but like I didn't feel like it needed to, like I said, essentially be as long as it did. Like them
And the
getting of them.
bribing was weird, and I'll tell you why I think the bribing was weird. Because some of them like, oh, we have this money, and they're like, here, we'll give you even more money. Okay, and we could see that happening in modern time. Like, okay, that's not enough. Okay, that is enough. This is 1932.
Right.
This is in the middle of the Great Depression.
Everybody needs it.
Everybody needs it. How the heck did that place get filled with people buying beer and everything? When we're talking about, when we're talking about that culture in that time, ain't nobody got money.
Well, nickels, bud.
Well, also too.
Well, they did.
Another
Yeah,
thing.
that was interesting. That
wooden
that's
nickels,
an
yeah.
argument. That's an argument. That's a good argument.
Well, I
Because
guess
that was the whole premise of it, right? Where not the whole premise, but they wanted to at least establish something for the community that is struggling with the Great Depression or the remnants of the Great Depression.
they're
right?
trying to get rich off it.
Well, and that too,
What?
obviously, yeah.
But what I thought about it was it said
and it's
that
this
they've
during
been.
Prohibition too. Don't forget
This is
that.
during Prohibition,
Yep.
so they are trying to make a buck. But what I didn't really understand, they made a point to say they were like soldiers also. So that
yeah,
means
and they
went,
didn't mention that for quite a long time.
but they made a point of it. And I guess like a big part of like the soldiers that came back, especially like the black soldiers that came back, like ended up working for the mob, and that's how they got that big thing.
Yeah.
But the reason they got like hired is they were strong, but they're also very tactical. They were trained by the government, so they're very tactical. And I didn't see any of that like ingenuity of being like someone so tactical in like doing this. They're just like, we got money. Here's a big stack of it.
Well,
All right.
they're mobsters.
So,
too.
so I was curious.
But no, they're literally soldiers, and you would think as a
Yeah.
soldier, I thought like they, whether it was the fight scenes or protecting the thing or anything else, they showed no sign of any kind of like tactability.
So I was curious a little bit about that myself. So I looked up black units, Army in particular, in World War I, because they were World War I vets, because this took place before World War II, I believe.
Correct.
So World War I black units, yes, there were a couple fighting units, but for the most part, the black units were the ones digging the ditches, doing manual labor. So as they were doing, so that makes sense on a couple different things. One, it makes sense why they had military supplies, because black units were doing a lot of the logistics. They were doing the manual labor, and especially we're talking about in the world where people are being drafted, a lot of gear adrift because we don't keep account as we do now. It was easier to lose things.
Guns? What guns?
Yeah, people got away with a whole lot more back then.
Well, Smoke kind of had a little bit of that tactability too towards the end, but like I said, during
exactly.
the whole fight when they're fighting this like mob of vampires,
digging trenches, there's a lot of a strategy that came with that, especially later on during the
but that's why I didn't see any of that in during this like huge vampire fight for their lives.
No, and honestly, I think that last fight with the Ku Klux Klan didn't really show a whole lot either.
I mean, I get they were trying to maybe show it, like he kind of was hitting them from like the trees and stuff, from afar, and going at it.
He just set up a machine gun. For the most part,
he was sniping at first, but like
for the most
that's
part,
what I mean. I felt like it was really lazy. I was expecting a little more,
I come up here and then I just shoot him because this is my suicide run.
I get the criticism of that part, but I feel like that wasn't really the main focus of the writing. The main focus.
I don't think it was any focus of the movie. I think they just threw it in so people got a hard on of killing racists.
No, and you might be right there.
Yeah, no,
that's because at the end of, like you said, they didn't really elaborate or focus too much on them being soldiers. It literally was just there for him to have that scene at the end.
I think that was like a big part of it though, was a lot of them did go to war and then they end up coming back and then actually having to work for the mob, and that gets them to Capone and that big score to actually having the money to open it. But I didn't see any of were they really sold? Like, doesn't even make any sense. That's what I mean. Like, the writing just didn't make sense for me.
Yeah, and the one thing with the writing, which they kind of, you tell trying to dig in, they're trying to like decide who's a sinner. Are they going after all these people because they're all sinners?
Well, that's
what makes a person a sinner. I think that's one reason why they made the one person married. Why they made it sound like in order to be a musician, you have to be a sinner. You have to do this. These guys are sinners. They went to war. They're a mobster. There is no debate whether they're sinners or not. I feel, and I don't know if that really rhetoric-wise makes all the sense, because I mean, to be in the Christian view. Now, I'm an atheist, but I do listen. I do try to. We grew up in a Christian society, so some of the stuff did sink in. In the Christian view, everyone's a sinner anyway. Like you had the church, you had the thing. They are every single one of them in the church, including his dad, is also a sinner.
Well,
so to say you have to be, they're only going after sinners and this, everyone in that church is also a sinner. You are in the part of Christ because you are a sinner. You are human. To be a human, you are a sinner. And it's to try to strive to do better and ask for forgiveness for your sins. As a human being, you are a sinner. Everyone's a sinner. Different levels, of course, but that's how you start, and that's how you. It's about getting better. It's accepting that, because no one's at their core is better. Maybe not that, but everybody is a sinner. Everybody is a sinner.
Well, that's what I went in this movie thinking, that everyone's a sinner. So you need to pick up all these people here, and they're all going to have different sins, or it's all going to tie into some type of biblical thing. I know the names of Smoke and Stack are biblical, but I didn't really think.
It doesn't. It's trying to, but it doesn't.
And yes, you could probably always argue, oh, well, this is, like gluttony or something, or this is like adultery, and make that argument. But that guy that was just guarding the door, what was his sin?
Yeah.
I get that was the whole thing. I was going, it's we are all sinners and bad things happen, and this is what's going to happen. And then
what's his sin? The first vampire, he was an Irish guy. They never really went into what's his sin. I did find it interesting that.
Well, you can. I'm sorry to cut you off, but the if you want to go that route, if you want to actually kind of dive deep into it, you can argue that bigger guy was Wrath, because when Stack goes up to him, he does make a joke about his wife, and he goes to attack him, right, and his wife has to stop him, right.
But that's what I mean. You can always find some weird underlying thing too. But I didn't feel like that. Like if you want to say Smoke and Stack, and this girl's being adulterous,
the girl with the girl that with Preacher Boy, she was cheating on her husband. She was married. The musician they found at the train station, he was an ex-con and an alcoholic. You know what I'm saying? So like, there were underlying things like that. Absolutely.
I just feel like it wasn't really like enough to like be like, all right, this is for sure like, the 7 deadly sins, or these are all like Christian sins. I just felt like
I don't think they gave that much thought. I think they tried to put a lot of thought.
I think we're thinking way harder than they were. Yeah.
Well, exactly. And that's my whole point. Is I didn't
enjoy
enjoy it because like I'm just like, so this guy's just guarding the door. He's a sinner.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, and if they're sinners, there's some type of biblical thing here. And they're like, oh man, all right, these are some weird demons. These are some. Oh wait, pickled garlic. He's like, here you go, right in your face. I'm like, how did you know there were vampires? Like, what? You just say there was something else like literally 2 minutes ago.
Now, however, I will agree with you on that because when it starts, right, we really don't know what this is, right? We don't know if it's a vampire. Obviously, after we get to our movie, it's a vampire. They say that. We don't really know what this is. A vampire? Is it what's you call it? A hate? Or what kind of, entity is this, right?
But at no point did I think it was a vampire until she threw the random garlic. I was like, oh, wait, these vampires. Yeah. I'm like, did your little witch bones tell you there, lady?
Yeah.
Because I didn't see you roll them.
Yeah, what was the point of her being like having all this voodoo stuff and then going, oh, never mind, it's vampire? I thought they were going to go a different route.
Can I say something?
I would have loved it.
I really thought they only added certain like details in this movie to play on certain parts. Like, let's just take the voodoo stuff. Right. Like that was only relevant because that was why she needed to die, and because she didn't want to give all that knowledge to that collective vampire thing. Same thing with like,
and they showed her as innocent as when she died.
She died. That's what I was saying. So,
and she was nursing an innocent child.
You know what I mean? But that really didn't play into the movie. It just like it just played into that the ending.
That's like what I say. It seems like two different people wrote
two
this
different
film.
people. Someone took a script and like, okay, we're going to do this, and they never smoothed it out.
If they would have went forward with the the voodoo type like aspect of if they would have just stuck to that, it maybe found like some type of entity or creature or demon or whatever that is related to voodoo culture. But even, that would have been a way more interesting.
But even
film.
So, I felt like they're trying to have these little like subtle ties without actually explaining them. Like, I thought the reason they even used like the whole like like South, like Southern, like Jim Crow stuff and black slavery thing, and the Irish vampire, because the Irish were also slaves also.
Yeah.
So like they were like, oh look, they're the same, and they like subtle like hints that like I don't feel like were really hashed out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because you got one of the other things was the Irish person that was the patient zero vampire. And they never went back to the Indians too. They
there you go. That's another one. You got these.
That was another loose tie.
Yeah. Why? Forgot all about that. That was just a random.
The Irish person running from the Indians, and then it's not that he saw other white people like, oh, now I'm saved. Here's more white people. His eyes went straight to the Ku Klux Klan thing there. And remember, Irish people were also an enemy of the Ku Klux Klan. Ku Klux Klan, trying to avoid certain things. But Irish people, not white. Italian people, not white. Mixed with anything, not white. Not Christian, not white.
Irish are also persecuted, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Irish, Italians, anyone that was not white in their eyes. Jewish.
Which I picked up on, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, I like that, where...
I mean, that's just historical accuracy.
Well, I don't want to say I like that, but I appreciate...
What else do you like about the Ku Klux Klan?
No, nothing.
Whoa.
I appreciate that they kind of made that, not completely obvious, right? But they were throwing those subtle hints in there.
It's one of those, if you know, you know.
Exactly.
Because if you didn't know and you see him look at the thing, you'd think that, oh, he agrees with them or he feels safe.
Mm-hmm.
But if you come from there like, oh, he's Irish. Oh, he found more sinners, the people with hate in their heart, so it's going to be easier for him to corrupt. It's one of those things where it makes sense if you know it or if you don't know, but it's reading it on two entirely different levels.
Correct.
Which level's the right level? I don't know, because part of me, I feel like they did this intentionally, and they also, if they didn't know about the Irish were also hated by, because let's be honest, a lot of people don't do that much research. I feel like I don't know, but what they did the research, like, oh, still works.
Yeah.
I feel like
It works
they were
on a
just
different level, but it
trying
works.
to essentially try to sound smart, like try to like tie these.
Oh,
things,
they're
but they-
totally trying to be
like you're just trying
sound-
so hard that like it just kind of like ruins the movie in a sense that like at least
Oh, the music scene. If
The
you want,
music
if you
was
want proof
great.
that they're trying hard,
I like. the
There's
music
so
number,
much messaging in there, I guess is the best way I would put
but
it.
it's like I
that
don't.
it
think the
almost
message-
comes off as pretentious, right?
It did a little bit.
so my wife walks in while I'm watching the movie. She's like, "Oh, I heard good things. I heard the music was really good."
Hey, by the way, the soundtrack is a banger.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Banger, dude.
But other than a few little tips of music here and there, they really don't have the music scene until 55 minutes in.
Oh,
And it was a little jarring
get
to
that
see
runtime.
all of yeah, they had to pad it, right? For a 2-hour 17 movie because they want to put me to sleep. Rockabye my toady in a treetop.
No, the musical number.
Now our musical number, yeah, at 27 minutes in. But this one, no, it would actually be like 23 minutes in. Anyway, sorry. But all these different things, like, oh, they see flashes of the past and the present and the future. What the heck does that have to? Like, wait, why is there B-boys? There's this. Oh, okay, there's the Asian people. Oh, that's a little racist.
The big
to show
musical number at the end.
The China's. It's not at the end. It's not even in the middle. It's 55 minutes.
In the bar. I didn't really get that at all.
Yeah, they're trying to show emotion through the music, and they can see the past, present, future. Maybe it's one of those, again, lost storylines to do with the voodoo stuff.
No, that was it was supposed to be in the beginning of the movie. That's what they were trying to say, like in that little opening, scene,
okay.
that there are some things that can transcend, but they made it seem like almost that was like the scary thing. But that's what they were talking about. Like he had like this ability his music was so transcendent that he could, be through the ages and tap into all that.
And that's what kind of like got the vampire.
And that made sense. I'm like, all right, if this guy here,
It
maybe
lured
he
the
hears
vampire.
it, and that's the only part of the decent writing I thought it was.
Yeah. Well,
like everything else.
there's some decent writing in there.
I did like that scene where they're trying to steal off. Was it Smoke's car? Do you guys remember the part I'm talking about? Where the little girl starts beeping the horn, and those two guys are trying to rob him, and he's like,
Oh yeah.
he's like, I can't let you guys go. He's like, nobody robs from us. So he shoots them. That was like my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah.
I got a little chuckle out of that.
Man, I didn't know this was your car.
But besides that was like probably my favorite scene in the movie.
Paint was what you're looking
Paint.
for.
Sorry.
Paint.
Yeah.
And one, just to touch back on that, that would have been interesting because they did kind of make different, because they did define what kind of vampires these are.
These are classic vampires.
Classic.
Yeah.
Garlic.
Garlic have to be invited in. Yep.
So can I ask you guys a question then?
Can I finish this
sure.
thought though?
Sure.
To tie it in with her background and stuff, so zombies used to be created by vampires, but today we would call them ghouls.
Mm.
Why couldn't they create ghouls out of whatever, be like, hey, you have to be a sinner to be a true vampire, but these people could be ghouls, like let's say the doorman, whatever, who might not have been a true sinner. He would have been a ghoul. And then she's like, that's a haint. Oh, these are the masters of the haint.
Mm.
Or something like different like that.
Yeah.
Like tie it in more. You could have done haint, or you might know them as ghouls or zombies or whatever, because one of the oldest versions of zombies was a voodoo version of a zombie, which historically would be a completely deprived of food, water, where all you can think of is when someone gives you a command, you do it because you are so deprived of nutrients and everything else, you don't really think of anything. Though it's actually the true historical version of zombie.
Yeah.
But then we had the vampire crazy zombies, then we had the Romero zombies. So that's my zombie historical. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rich.
No, and like another thing about it, like it's just like, you're and this is gonna go into spoiler territory. The way the movie ended, I thought was just a little poor.
Spoilers.
Like, he's sitting there and Preacher Boy, he's like running, and the only thing he has is a guitar, and he hits the guy in like the vampire in the head, and and somehow is that like a silver pick guard? Because I was like, why did that hurt him so much? If he's just, like he's a vampire, isn't that normal? Like, can't they just bounce it off? But they were fighting in water, and you're apparently the son of a preacher, and at some point they did say he wanted him to help like write the sermon. Why didn't you just kind of bless the water and make it kind of holy water?
I just thought that the guitar
I figured
was...
the guitar was blessed.
Exactly.
Who blessed the guitar?
His father.
When? His brother didn't want him to play it. It made no sense.
That's why the guitar was at the church. I just assume he blessed it.
It was on the altar, and he like pointed to it as like, I want you to do the sermon or help me with the sermon. He pointed to the guitar. Maybe at some point.
So you guys don't think that was just poor writing though? Because like at no point did I ever think that he was like. I'm thinking like, is that a silver pick guard?
I think
what just happened there?
They just didn't make it as obvious as you would like, and it was kind of up.
You didn't even see the dad interact with. As far as I knew, I thought his dad wanted to smash that guitar.
Well, he put it there. You know what I mean?
So he wanted to lure him to the church and have him part of the sermon.
Yeah, lure him to the church, not bless it so we can rock out.
If you were a preacher, wouldn't you? If you were a preacher, since you're both golfers, would you bless your own clubs? Dogma question.
I do it every time.
Never.
How do you think I get such good drives?
You better take it to the preacher, bro. You better take it in this weekend because
I knew a guy that got his Christmas tree blessed. When he buys a new Christmas tree, the fake Christmas tree, he'll take it because he swears one of the Christmas trees was possessed. So every time he gets a new one, he brings it to him.
But he has a reason to bless it, though. Like you're telling me that I'm just going to randomly bless this guitar now.
Yeah, the fact that it was in a church and it was presented to him by a preacher, his father, I can just again, it wasn't obvious, but if we're gonna go into depth and like kind of put our own interpretations of some of the themes in the movie, I can do the same thing with this part, right?
This is what I mean about lazy writing. We're sitting here like having an argument about did they bless this guitar for the ending of the movie?
Yeah.
Like it's poor writing, guys. I'm sorry.
Yes. I
it's
think
just not in your face.
It was probably a cut scene or in the cut script as we've
for a movie they got like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. I expect a little better writing. I'm sorry.
By the critics or the audience?
It doesn't matter.
Yes,
it kind of does.
No.
Yes.
If anyone's putting it that high, I feel like it has to have some like
financial backing.
No, not any kind of financial backing. I'm saying like some type of like backbone to like.
Do I have to look this up on Rotten Tomatoes, see if it was audience or critics?
I don't know.
I'm doing it right now.
I just remember hearing like such great things about even Brian. Like, I love that movie. So I'm sitting here watching it with like intent here. Like
after watching it the second time, I definitely understand the criticism. I had some of my own, but I thought it's a solid vampire movie. And you said it was Dawn of the Dead or whatever. Or
when did I say it was Dawn of the Dead?
No, you said it was.
You did.
Yeah.
Well, not
I
Dawn
said it
of
was
the Dead. No,
from dusk till dawn.
Dusk till dawn.
Yeah.
Like I liked it better when the Mexicans did it. Sorry.
Ron,
you would say that.
Okay, come on, Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes, this currently, as of today, oh, wow.
97, 96.
Yeah.
97, 96, bud.
Yeah, exactly. I was expecting better for such high scores to be such a poorly written movie.
I don't think it was written that poor. Oh, I wouldn't say poorly.
You said it was.
I wouldn't say.
Like
no. I didn't. What I said was
times.
it seemed like two different people wrote it. Now, I would only say that if they were gonna go with this voodoo like deep south theme, why not just stick with that and give us something different? Like a vampire to me, then this is just to me, it's just like we've been there, we've done that, we've seen that. There's only so many things you can do with a vampire that we haven't seen. Why not introduce something different to the ecosystem?
The only thing, the thing I feel like that really drove this movie, why it does have those high scores, is, and this is why one of the better points about the movie, is I feel like historically it was trying to live up like to stuff chronically historically because there were Asian general stores and stuff.
But the general store was full of people, and this is the middle of the Depression.
Well, okay, but the point is they were still that's why they had two of them.
I'm sorry, I just had to put that out there. This is supposed to be in the middle of Depression, and their grocery store, both of them, because they had two stores, were filled with people.
Yeah.
I think that was one of those things where like they were a displaced thing, so I don't want to say the white culture wanted to make sure they were here to be able to suck up all the African Americans' money. So that because they were already being, like sharecropping and stuff. So it was like
that was just a thing that they were doing right after.
Well, that's something that they really that's what I mean. Historically, I feel like this movie did well historically. As for like writing a good horror / vampire film, I feel like
historical / music /
yeah,
religious symbol. Someone else say the word
symbolism.
Thank you.
And that's where I feel like
Michael B. Jordan Blaze Fest.
Yeah. Like again,
I think it was cheaper to get Michael B. Jordan to play 2 characters than to get 2 A-list actors.
Was it gonna be Denzel?
I don't think they could be brothers, but why not?
I mean, they could definitely be Denzel and Will Smith.
That's what I'm trying. I'm trying to feel like someone that can,
No, because I mean that's what I mean. Historically, they needed somebody younger because they had been young enough to be in the war and through the mob and this. So they probably wouldn't have been able to. But
I actually think it could have been a single person. Now that we're talking about this, I don't think it needed to be a set of twins. I feel like if you're gonna make it twins, at least make them different.
So then back to my criticism. I know I'm switching gears on you guys. Like, when I'm watching this movie and I know it's random, I thought about The Ring, right? That, and that was that demon or entity or whatever it was somewhat different, especially when you get to the sequels and things like that. It kind of, I forget what it's called, that creature, whatever it's called, but it's actually something in, Japanese
culture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, if we're going to do this where it's set in Jim Crow South, majority black cast, and there's obviously racial undertones and racial themes in it. Why not have it more centered around, maybe voodoo or African or because that when you look at Haints, that was actually like a in Deep South folklore as well. The Haints themselves.
Now, that's how. Do either of you know anything about Robert Johnson? I was wondering if there was any Easter eggs, and that kept coming up in my mind. Like, is this supposed to have any kind of nods to Robert Johnson? Do you know who that is?
I have no idea.
You know who that is?
No.
He was the black guitar player that died very young. He was from 1911 to 1938. So he was alive during this time frame.
Okay.
That they claim that he sold his soul to the devil in return to be able to play guitar very well.
Yes, there were actually 2 people that are like that had, I don't know their names, but
one was Robert Johnson.
One was Robert Johnson.
She's saying, do you think that was kind of a nod towards Robert Johnson?
That's another thing why I'm thinking, we're dealing with demons and the devil and sinners and something biblical here. And at the end, you're like, Pickled garlic? Vampires?
Yeah.
That's how you're diagnosing garlic? What if you were wrong?
Okay, by the way, they needed permission to enter. Who gave them permission to come in? Because all of a sudden they're like, okay, everyone get ready. They're going to come in.
No,
they did
the Asian lady.
Yes,
she gets all mad. She's like, you're just going to let him go out there? And he's like, you need to do something. He's like, well, and she just screams it like, come on and get us. Like,
I missed that part.
Which I thought, Southern accent,
which is honestly, I thought was like another really lazy writing, just screaming, come in.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like if we were in a this garage, guys, and there were vampires outside, and Brian, you just said scream, come on,
I'd be
get us.
So mad, dude.
I would be furious. Like we're literally safe here. Yeah. Like it's one thing if you want to have some writing, and maybe they set a fire in the corner or set it in the field. It's like slowly trickling towards them to give it a little more suspense. But just to scream it. And now you got mass chaos.
Wait. She didn't mean that. She was only talking about the fireflies. It's not you. Like, does that cancel it? Or does like was it defined? Do you have to define this? How do they know? So how do these rules work?
Well, and that's another thing why you spent half the movie thinking that you're going to be dealing with, demons.
Is Mr. Gilmore out there? You never invite the vampire in with you guys. Lost Boys reference, sorry.
If they would have just maybe had them just stick into, everyone stays alive, right, in the barn, right? No one dies, they survive the night. They throw some jump scares in between that, in the morning time. And then they also have that big scene with the clan at the end. You know what I mean? And I don't know, maybe they die then. But yes, I do agree with you at that point. Her just yelling for them to come in was
Why don't they just play music and get those and get all these historical figures from the B-Boys to help them? Yeah. No, I'm sorry. That's them lost in the moment, and for them to it was their Oscar bid is what it was. The cinematographer and editor wanted
what do you guys think
for an Oscar bid, though I did have to watch it again to see the gambling.
What do you guys think about the supporting cast? I think it was pretty decent. I thought
No,
Bridget Ward
I liked the characters. I mean, there wasn't much development because again, you have a guy who's, I guess, arguably just a drunk that's good at playing the piano. He was supposed to be a big sinner, but he actually seemed like a pretty decent dude. Where he kind of, like he kind of sacrificed himself at the
yeah,
end.
I
like
liked
comedic
him.
relief too.
I liked him. I
like-
felt like the guy at the door was the guy that's in every movie that you tend to forget his name.
Yeah.
And I think the only woman that I remember is the voodoo lady. The other two women that were both married are actually kind of forgettable. Other than
Josh Allen's.
I like that Haley Seinfeld. I think that's her name.
which one was she? Was she the?
She's Josh Allen's wife.
Okay.
Stack's girlfriend that came to come
That
back.
She's Josh
the
Allen's wife.
ex-girlfriend of the person that adopted the twins. That apparently
Yeah, the
they left for
ex-girlfriend.
war. And so when they were adopted, she was very, very young. And so, but then again, this is also 1930s,
Different time, but
different time.
yeah.
And
This takes place way after the Sergeant York thing, which you were kind of stuck on when we're talking about the age differences with Sergeant York. But then again,
I
the age
have
difference probably
so
was
many
still
other
bigger.
things to complain about this movie. I'm not sure about the age. I have so many other things.
But
to
we are
complain
talking
about.
about sinners. So.
I think Sergeant York could have beat the vampires.
Yeah.
Yes, he definitely would have.
Come on, boom.
Yeah, 100%.
He would beat them and the KKK and all of them.
And probably got a medal from the president.
yeah, because he's white, so he would have got a medal for
Porter
it.
cast was good. What about the design of the the vampire at the end? What do you guys think about how it had the claw or whatever? Like what you think about the design of the vampire when you actually see?
Wait, are you talking about the ending scene where in the 90s where he's wearing the colorful sweater?
No, I think he's talking about the end that I was talking about where he gets hit with the guitar.
He jumps out of the barn and you
Oh.
you actually see it. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
didn't care. I
Didn't care?
don't remember
Okay.
it.
Well,
I don't remember it. I just
I-
remember him getting hit by the guitar. I'm like, oh, the guitar must have been blessed, and that's all I remember.
Thought it looked pretty cool.
But the thing is about it too is I kind of thought I know fireflies are a big thing and African folklore type stuff,
Yeah.
things like that. And I thought that's what a lot of that stuff was. We're looking outside with all the eyes and all that. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's a good catch. It's a decent catch, bud.
Yeah, I know. I watched this movie pretty hard and I really wanted to like it a lot.
You do. Cool
I'm
things
surprised
sometimes.
you were not talking about all the
But that's what I
references
mean.
to oral. There's so many references to oral sex throughout the whole movie.
I think they actually have an oral
Whoa,
sex
this
scene.
is a family podcast.
There's
Well,
bud.
no,
so
we're already
many.
5 minutes in, but we can talk about it.
Well, I mean, I just want to bring that to attention. Why are they so, is it because to do this is a totally different, I mean, a sinner thing because we're not perfect Christian, only the missionary position, and then
that's what I mean.
Why
it
were
seemed like it was.
again? I think it was all filler. I think that was just filler into
Well, that's
it.
what I mean. I feel like there were tones of African, mythological.
100%. Yeah.
Wait,
you know,
there's
but I
oral,
also-
there's a lot of oral sex in African mythological.
No, I think it's talking about the fireflies.
The fireflies,
okay.
stuff like that, and that's what I mean. So that's the whole point I'm trying to deal is what are we dealing with here? There were a lot of undertones like that. So I'm like, oh, are we dealing with something like African folklore? Are we dealing with Christian?
Right. And that's my biggest.
And I'm like,
criticism,
where are we
yes.
going with this movie? It's just you just.
Yeah.
Besides
Vampires.
historically making a historically accurate film about the times, besides the people being in the general store as you pointed out,
Yeah, besides
you didn't
people
know which way the
having
movie was
money,
going
yeah.
or what you're supposed to be doing. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
even at some point they make reference to all the weapons outside and you're like, well, all right, this is about might get good at least. They're gonna somehow make it outside to the car and go to town and you end up getting hit with a magical blessed guitar that you don't even know was blessed.
I knew it was blessed.
You didn't know.
Watched it twice,
a
bud.
preacher's got to bless his clubs when he's going golfing, so he's gonna.
I do
bless
it
his
every
guitar.
time.
Yeah.
Every hole.
But definitely wasn't a fan of something that had such high scores, so I had a lot of high hopes for it.
Definitely
And-
overhyped. Not overhyped. Definitely hyped.
What do you think of the KKK attack at the end? Was it necessary? We already had the big ending battle. What was it? I mean, they kind of said oh, this was all set up as an ambush. That's why you guys got this place cheap. And they didn't notice that there was still blood on the floors. Oh, it looks like someone tried to clean up here. So that place was already kind of set up as a slaughterhouse. Though they came in, and even though They didn't know what they were doing with the building, but they came in the morning, which I assume they only expected to find the two guys there and not anyone else because they didn't know it was going to be a juke. They didn't know that it was going to be whatever it was.
I felt like,
which is a great real estate ploy at the time. You sell to people out of town, then you kill them in the morning. Oh, we never sold it, but you have the money. Like what a great ploy to make money for you.
1930s, but
like,
different time.
I feel like that ending scene was only put in there. It's almost like do you remember the 19
I wasn't born yet.
you weren't born in the 1990s?
Oh,
No,
I thought you were gonna say like 1950s.
No, I was gonna say we all know. Remember that iconic cover of like Captain America punching Hitler?
Oh yeah.
What?
There's a World War II comic where Captain America's punching Hitler.
Yeah.
I feel like
they did try to put that into the first movie, but it was like but it was in one of the stage shows.
But I feel like at the ending, that the whole thing you're talking about was this film's like punch to Hitler. Like,
oh yeah, because they had to have the iconic picture of him with a machine gun. I was like, oh, that movie poster's from the very end.
This is a wild comic book cover,
ain't it? See, but that's you're kind of right. In no sense, it didn't need it, and I feel like it was only for people because it had such deep slavery ties to give you that I'm satisfied now.
That's
Racism
exactly what it
win.
was. And
racism didn't win.
Yeah, because Michael B. Jordan beat it, and that's what it was. It was that, obviously, and then it was also, like you said earlier, them kind of like playing up the fact that he was a soldier, has these weapons, and to have that sweet like ending scene that we all saw in the trailer. I mean, that's what
it
was. One of those scenes.
Dream of capitalism beating the
But that was
KKK,
honestly
which, by the way, the KKK was National Socialism Party.
Ew, socialist. I think that any scene could have been cut out, but obviously, you couldn't have those characters. The only character that lived would be Preacher Boy at that point, which he was, the main cause of, everything that happened, essentially.
Was Preacher Boy even a decent character? I feel like he was just there.
He's there to move the plot along, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's a desperately decent character, but he definitely had like his talent was like what really kind of moved it. Like you said, he's guitar playing,
self-taught from someone else's guitar. That's why I was thinking is this a Robert Johnson kind of nod?
But that was one of the things they were supposed to do. Like, but that's what another one like led me into believe like, oh, this is gonna have to deal with the devil. Then there's gonna be some type of like But it didn't. It just really. They just wanted to have like underlining tones to like.
Even when they got to the truck and then that snake was in the back of the truck and you thought
which
maybe
is like
they'd expound on that a little bit,
which is also a biblical animal, the serpent.
Yes.
Like, and I'm like,
you would think that they would expound on that a little bit. Maybe he gets into a situation, altercation, it bites him, whatever. They just never. The stag just kills it, whatever.
Like the only thing that like would have made it even more is just to have like. Oh, there's a scene where like Michael B. Jordan's eating like an apple randomly.
Actually, I was just gonna look up the one girl. I could be completely wrong. The one girl they asked to watch the truck, wasn't she eating an apple? She was eating something.
Might have been. I wasn't watching that hard. No.
I only now think of it. I don't.
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure because she was distracted or something. I thought she was eating something. Maybe it was ice cream. I don't know. Which, by the way, ice cream is a prohibition thing, by the way. Ice cream only was popular in America due to prohibition.
Yep. Stroh's, beer first, then ice cream.
Yeah.
Fund that ice cream somehow.
Oh, yeah.
Fund
yeah.
those creamies
You can
somehow.
look that up. Another fat electrician reference. He actually did a whole video about how the government funded the dairy industry, and because there was so much in that they did all the got milk commercials and stuff, and that's why
it really didn't have as much like benefits to you than it actually
government
did.
Cheese and the cheese in the mines. Did you know that there's cheese in the mines and stuff like that to keep it fresh and keep it cold?
Oh, really?
Yeah, because government funded all this stuff.
I know the government funded it. Yeah, we got to move this milk.
Oh yeah. Ice cream socials became a thing because instead of meeting up to drink, they turned it on to ice cream. Our own Navy, they were making ice cream in the ships for the troops. to keep their spirits up because they're not allowed to have alcohol because of prohibition. So they replaced it with ice cream. That's why all the ice cream stuff was so big.
Would you trade?
And they kept financing it. That's why you had all the cheese stored in the mines. That's why you had the Got Milk ads funded by the government. That's why you had all this other stuff. Yeah.
You trade ice cream for beer right now?
I'm a fatty more than I'm an alcoholic, so I would have more ice cream than beer. I have the same beer in my fridge that I had for at least a year or so, but ice cream I can't keep more than like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I do enjoy good ice cream, but I definitely drinking a beer right now.
Joe's makes way better ice cream than they do beer.
I bought
out there.
They have a
2
really nice
cases
Bohemian.
of
Yeah, they do.
I bought 2 cases of Yingling a few days ago, only because now it's finally in Michigan. So I bought 2
Let's go.
cases, and I don't see those going away anytime. I almost brought a case here, but I figured I'd only have like 1 beer. I know you guys could drink it, so next time I'll bring some of that Yingling over for you guys.
Also, Yingling,
Can we
if you're
watch
looking for a
Sinners? Maybe it'll be
sponsor, we will drink your beer.
And watch movies, yeah.
Yeah, and
We'll start actually doing it like with video of us drinking your beer while watching the movie, if that helps.
Sinners will be way better when we're drinking. I promise you that.
yes.
I'll watch Prometheus if we have beer.
Oh, dude, no, we need shots for Prometheus. Very mescaline. Who knows?
So I still don't know if this is a good movie or not. It's interesting to watch under different questions. It's interesting to watch as a cinematographer or as a filmmaker trying to get their message across and trying to figure out, did they get their message across? I think they got some of it across, but that message, as you said, looked like
Can we
No.
backpedal? Because I feel like
Yeah.
you're wrapping up here, and I feel like there is a scene that we didn't really talk about.
all right, go for it.
What about the after credit scene too?
Okay.
To where you feel like you literally see Smoke stab Stack, and then after the after credit scene, he comes and sees Preacher Boy as an old man with the scar on his face, and they're at the bar and all
Yeah,
that.
it negated the whole fight between the two.
Why?
Yeah, you're right. It did take meaning away from it. I mean, they tried to be like, oh, well, I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about like that false fight, because it did kind of take the meaning away from that fight just for him, just to have that, that iconic vampire scene that's in so many other movies where it's like, oh, here's the guy being him as his old man.
I don't know. I just thought it was
Aye.
really weird, like, because like they're apparently in the year 1992. Apparently, if you guys didn't know that.
Yeah.
Year.
Yeah, that's the year that after credit scene takes place, which apparently is supposed to, again, with these like loose like ties to Candyman, because they wanted to tie into Candyman for some reason. That's when not Candyland, Candyman came out, and Candyman was also based on like interracial love and I think he was like slavery. I don't know, it was a bunch of weird stuff
And
about.
Clint Howard was in Candyman, and Clint Howard introed my Monroe Comic Con video last year, which I'm filming the 2025 one tomorrow. So now we're ties with the Candyman.
Plug
and
it.
Sinners. That movie, that video will probably be out before this one. So
What is your issue with the? I like the in the scene just really quick because mine's really quick. The fact that he always has that evil lurking around him because he went through that, but he never divulges in. He never gives into the temptation of it. I guess is what the best way to put it for me. That's why I.
But he did give it a temptation, because the temptation, if we're going to talk about sinning, was the music. I thought.
No, it was being able to live forever, right?
was it
Or-
My Girl Sing by the Temptations?
They
It
were.
was.
It was.
Okay.
It was, but
Motor City.
I'm sorry. I'm
We're in
But
Detroit, by the way.
After a certain
I didn't
time,
hate
I'm
that's another one of the
useless.
scenes I didn't hate. I just didn't understand its placement there, because I'm like, this movie's wrapped up. Smoke is dead. He's made it back to his family on the other side. He's gone. Oh wait,
the racist
his-
people are dead. The capitalism reigned.
Stack is still alive in a Coogee sweater, and you got his girl pair of baby fat jeans. Like, what is the point of this last scene?
The 90s.
Equality has been established. All the women are satisfied.
Well, I don't know. Like,
The
rainbows and
evil just always
unicorns.
visits him because,
No, because I thought at some point in the movie he promised to stay away from him, and that's why he didn't like essentially just kill him there.
Yeah, that's why he met him as an old man. Like, I stayed away from your life, and I know you're dying right now. The choice is yours.
Just to offer him that option.
yeah.
I think it's just to show more music, because that is a core
Well,
part of the
and also
movie.
show that he still has that ability, to this day, right?
And then they just watch him play the guitar for a little bit. He's like, I didn't like that stuff with you with the
I
electric.
like it raw.
Like, I was like, I don't know.
I like it
That's
raw.
You always got that person in your family that's old school guy who just likes,
but I know.
Oh yeah.
I honestly
we
was-
just
Ted
have to
Nugent,
bash
that's it, dude.
Bob Dylan for going electric. Come on.
I just honestly thought, is this like a shameless like, are we gonna get a sequel to this? Is that why they're showing that there's still vampires here? Because
No.
you don't think? I don't know.
Nah, I don't think so.
They would try for a mini series, but Michael B.
If
Jordan,
anything.
I don't know.
Michael B. Jordan not doing a miniseries. He'll do another. He might do Sinners 2. And like I said, again, the way the movies are kind of hard up for decent films, I could definitely see him capitalizing on it. And that's why I feel it was the only thing that was like,
I mean, we did get Twisters again, so who knows?
Oh yeah. Okay, Sinners 2.
Twistery.
What time frame would you want to see Sinners 2 in?
well, I think it would have to be modern day time because you went from the 30s to the 90s, and now you're going to go from that was the last time you see
You
them.
could do maybe the 60s, like the Jim Crow era, to show some
No,
evil
I
going
think
on.
you would-
yeah,
I-
because
They're still
they
evil.
did have a lot of racial tension. They wanted
Yeah.
to show racial. So yeah, maybe the 60s. I was thinking the 80s or early 90s, just because they did show some of that era during the music sequences.
Mhm.
But I could see it during 50s or 60s, Jim Crow. I just kind of want to see them do something with the early rap, the early like White Lines early rap, because music did
Vanilla
play.
Ice summons a vampire. You just sing so well.
Oh, there we go. Somewhere in the 90s, and they send people to go hit Vanilla Ice. How dare you steal our culture?
Go vampire, go vampire, go.
Go, vampire, rap.
Yeah, I don't know. I liked the scene. I just didn't understand its placement there because I'm like, so you're just saving him. I mean, I'm pretty sure he doesn't want it. Like, you guys like ripped his face open. It was literally like the worst night of his life, possibly. Now you went, hey, you want to be one of us now? Like, I don't,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess
It's like I had a bad night on Southern Comfort. I haven't drank that in years. That was probably the worst night of my life, and now all of a sudden you think I'm gonna drink it again? No, I'm good.
Well, I think they should do. I jokingly mentioned the Temptations, but if they go during that time period, that would make kind of sense.
Right.
During the doo-wop groups and stuff.
They're
That
saying it
would
was
make
really
sense.
wild back
But
then.
I don't think you. I mean, unless you're going for like another musical thing, I feel like you would only want to show that he is alive, and you'd probably want to continue it now in modern times, and then Michael B. Jordan would just
Well, I don't think it
essentially
has to
play
be Michael B.
Jordan.
Michael
Why-
B. Jordan can make a cameo, and it could be
No, that's literally what they're showing. He's still alive.
be
And
just
he's the
someone else
main
that he
vampire.
turns.
yeah. But if you're gonna do a sequel, it doesn't matter.
Wait, that's a good question. Is Michael B. Jordan the main?
He's
No.
apparently like. I mean, you did watch majority of them like explode, so he would be the last two connected to the hive mind.
That hive mind, we don't know how
That
big.
hive mind.
We really don't know how big the hive
that's what
mind
I'm
is.
saying. I feel
That
like
was
you
a
would-
good. That's a good question. We don't know how big.
Why
the hive
wasn't
mind
Why
is.
wasn't he hurt and died with the hive? Why was that?
Well, because I think they're trying to imply that he died, and this is what I mean about the lazy writing. He died in the barn, protected from the sun, even though you seen smoke stab him.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? The fight between him and his brother was inside the bar,
Mm-hmm.
not outside. So all the vampires outside
got
died,
the sun? Yeah.
but those two apparently, like the underlying. That's what I mean
He
about the
could
lazy
just
writing.
stayed in the barn.
He
was
probably-
because the KKK guys never.
Well,
went inside
also
the barn.
maybe his the connection with his brother kind of severed the connection with the hive mind. 'cause
Oh,
he
I think
was-
we just answered the question.
How?
Right.
What?
We answered the question.
there was a weird scene.
The
where-
reason, with the reason he didn't just torch the barn to kill the KKK people, let them go inside and torch the barn, and that'd be way easier. Was he killed them so they can go inside and kill his brother?
His brother was already dead. He killed his brother.
No,
It wasn't.
There was that scene where he's on top of him.
He got up.
no,
and
the
ran.
vampire.
Yeah, the vampire was below him, and Michael B. Jordan
Which
was on
stayed
top.
alive.
Was on top of him.
Wait, which Michael B. Jordan?
Yeah, right. Remember, but they both lived through that because one of them didn't die. He died during the KK and the KKK attack,
Right.
and then
The other one ran away.
because he let his brother leave. That came back at the very end.
Oh, he let him leave? I thought he was. I thought
No, he was
saw
on
him
top
on
of
top
the-
of him.
No, he was on top of the vampire Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, and he let the vampire live.
Oh, he let him live? I thought.
Yeah, that's a vampire at the end.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That makes.
I know
more
they
sense.
both look alike.
There wasn't
and
three
not just
Michael B.
because they're
Jordans.
black,
There's
but
only two.
because
No,
it's
I
the
didn't think
same
there were
actor.
three. I'm
No,
saying
they
I
look the
didn't.
same.
I didn't really honestly remember him letting him live. I thought he honestly let him die.
No.
No,
He was
they,
at the
they
end.
both lived. One of them died during the KKK, and the other one was the vampire.
Oh, okay. Then
This
he let him
movie
live.
was-
I
It
thought he
doesn't
killed him. I thought he
knowing this-
killed him.
But
in there.
now it makes well, it doesn't make more sense, but it adds more layer because if he stayed in the barn to be protected from the sun, his brother, that's still human, kill all the KKK people so they don't go inside the barn to kill his vampire
Well,
brother.
yeah, that does make sense.
Even
now,
though
but,
that
like,
would have been a hell of a lot better fight.
You didn't want them going to the barn anyway, so they don't get
That
turned.
would have been a better fight.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, all right, let's go in the barn, and him just sit out there with a machine gun to kill any survivors that run out. That would have been interesting.
I think that would have definitely been better writing. But I honestly
And
I
then
honestly
do
don't
the
remember.
ending. You know, we're like, hey, yeah, I heard he let you live. How come you're only now coming to me? Well, my brother, you know, like your brother died at this time. Yeah, if they let them both live at the end, that would have been. I don't know. I don't know, man. I still don't understand the ending. I think they need to smooth over.
I'm giving it
the
a
writers
solid
better.
7, 6.5, 7, bro.
You know, I'll agree
Out of
with you.
10.
I'll go 6.5 to 7.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there.
I
I'm
think
leaning more
there's a lot of-
7.
I
I'm gonna go
think we are
5,
able to
'cause
have
I'm
a
a
good
history buff. I
conversation
like-
because there were good elements,
Yes.
and I think the good. I don't know if they outweighed the bad. I think my opinion might change over time. Yes, you in the black.
I'm giving it a 5. I could take it or leave it.
Okay.
I enjoyed the costume design. Like I said, smokestack definitely were smooth looking. I enjoyed the historical accuracy that they really tried to imply there.
Yeah.
But I feel like all the actual like horror and like mythology and all the other stuff was just kind of poorly done.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to go for an award.
Yeah, pick a direction. You know,
I
either
think
horror movie
this
or,
was a good conversation for a film class, but this isn't a movie I'm going to throw in throw in for a good time.
Well, you would think with a movie that has what 97 and 98% on Rotten Tomatoes from the you could
All
put
of
it
a
in.
sudden,
think you'd be able to watch it.
let's say if it stays there in 2 years.
Right.
Yeah, not after this podcast.
Oh yeah, a whole 10 people listen to this and they're like, "Oh, I gotta go change that." Prove me wrong. Comment, rate, subscribe.
We're going to get so much hate mail about this movie.
An email would be welcomed for right now.
You know, I would love to argue in the comments with somebody about this film. I'm not doing anything Tuesday and Thursdays, guys, so I got lots of time.
Please let us know what movie next should we argue about. What would you rather see watch again? This movie or Dusk Till Dawn, the first one?
I like From Dusk Till Dawn.
You,
I
of
would
course,
definitely
would.
watch that one first.
The fact that you started with I like Dusk Till Dawn.
I did.
You're like, I didn't like Sinners, but I like Dusk Till
I
Dawn.
had a penis gun.
There was
They had a character
movie.
named Sex Machine.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen this one twice. I think 2 times is good enough. Got what I wanted out of it. I mean, it was decent.
I know I've seen Dusk Till Dawn way more than 2 times.
This is something that you,
And I will watch it again.
I feel like it's something that you put on in the background at like a Halloween party, maybe.
I feel like Dusk Till Dawn's better background than Halloween.
You think so?
Party.
Yeah, I might agree with you on that. I agree with you on that, actually.
Because it takes an hour. Well, it doesn't take as long for the first zombie attack, but it takes an hour to get to the first teaser of the zombie attack against a vampire attack against the main cast.
I think that this will get nominated for something.
Oh, I think that was the point. I think
I think it might get best like soundtrack.
I think this.
Maybe,
I
yeah.
think they're
I
trying
think
to
this
fight
might be
for
for
best
like a-
soundtrack, best cinematography.
Like something like that.
I think
maybe
they're-
like best directing, but I don't think like
I think
I think
that's
the
exactly
plot
what they're
was the
trying for.
problem.
I want to know how much
The-
money that they set aside for your consideration campaigns. It'll be more than enough for me to live on for the rest of my life, I think. Because I think this is an Oscar. I think it's an Oscar bait movie.
Michael B. Jordan and Michael B. Jordan. And apparently there's a third Michael B. Jordan for you, Rich.
I wish. No, I was trying to say I thought he lived through that, or he killed him not lived. I thought he literally killed him.
You
I
I
can't
remember
hear you.
being
Can
on top
you
of
closer
him.
to the
And
mic? I can't hear you.
I literally watched him like fight on top of him. Like he's dead. Now he's outside. I'm like, I thought that he had to have killed the vampire.
You just need to rewatch it.
Yeah.
I would rather not. I would rather not.
I still feel
You guys want to watch From Dusk Till Dawn though?
Yes.
only for the Cheech Marin scenes. What movie should we talk about next? You guys have any other final thoughts?
Banger soundtrack, decent soundtrack. Let's chill out on the vampires and zombies for a while, guys. Let's do something else. All right.
I mean,
Okay.
it is Halloween season, so I'm not opposed to watching another couple scary movies.
Range 15? Range 15? Range 15.
I'm him.
Range 15?
Him or whatever.
I know. I'm just going to keep saying Range 15 because I really did like that movie.
Oh man! All right, guys. Well, we're wrapping up here. Apparently, someone's had a stroke.
We're watching Range 15.
Range 15?
Watching
Like,
tonight.
comment, subscribe.
You
You guys have a good.
15?
We all are.
Oh,
Apparently.
okay. Range 15.
Have a good night, guys.